Hello and welcome back to this playthrough for Khare, City Porter Traps. Welcome to part 13. In our last video we met Tita the blind beggar and got the third spell line needed for the North Gate. It's now time for us to carry on. You were standing in the grounds of the Necropolis, a city within a city, occupied by the headstones and mausoleums of the dead. The wind whistles between the tall trees. The sun is setting behind the wall. Select Look around at the gravestones. Select Continue. And go to Explore the older tombs. Select Find the oldest grave. You'll find a small mausoleum with an inscription that reads, "Here lies Lorag, founder of Khare." That's strange. Didn't you meet a man named Lorag? Select Look at the mausoleum. The tomb is a simple stone cabinet carved with the likeness of a man. From centuries of rain and wind you can make out nothing of it but a long grisly beard. Below the inscription is a long tablet, but it is half weathered and covered in moss. Select Clear the inscription. You clear away the dirt from the carved inscription, but you still cannot make out the words. Only carve their outlines with your finger. The eyes of the carved statue appear to be watching you. Select Make a rubbing. You put the flayer scroll over the inscription and rub it with the charcoal of the burnt wooden mask. The inscription comes up clearly. Here lieth Lorag. Arrive he in smoke to save us. Damned he the river A, for the flood would take our camp away. Forged he the weapons of silver to cut the ghosts. Caught he the rage of fury in the gates of bone. Lorag, spirit of Khare, you must never leave. Select Examine the carved man. You look closer at the carved man, clearing away the spider webs, the dirt and the mud, and you can make out a little more of his features. It is surely quite impossible, but if not for the same man as the wizard you met earlier, then it is a direct ancestor. Select Leave the tomb. Continue. And go to the flag, Explore the newer tombs. Select the third option, Explore the tombs of Oxel to Tamarin. And then select Shivna's Mausoleum. You approach the mausoleum, and carved above its door reads, Here rests Lord Shivna, 5th noble of Khare. Your heart hammers. Is this the undead noble you were warned you would need to find? Select Continue. And go to the flag, Shivna's Mausoleum. The door to the mausoleum seems to be unlocked, and is cracked ajar, as though someone regularly came and went. Just in front of it is a ring of little mushrooms, growing up against the front step of the mausoleum. Select Look at the ring. You crouch down to look at the mushrooms. They look highly poisonous, not least because you can't see a single insect crawling around them. Unusually, the ring itself is also a perfect circle, and in its centre, something silver is glistening, a stake pushed into the soft soil. Remembering what Flanker said about perfect circles, we know that this is almost certainly a portal trap. Still, if there's something silver dug into the ground, it might be useful against the undead. Select Cast a Spell. And the spell we're going to cast is Big. Select B, I, G, and cast. Select Take the Silver Stake, and you'll discover that it is in fact a silver sword. Select Make a Move, continue, and go to the flag Step over the ring. Continue again, and go to the flag Shivna's Tomb. Once you are small once more, you step into the hush of the crypt. The air is freezing, dust coats the floor, urns line the walls, but there is no coffin. The floor space is empty, except for the far corner, where a narrow stone staircase leads into the darkness below. Select Cast a Spell, and the spell we're going to cast is Sun. Select S, U, N, and cast. You cast the spell, and the sun jewel in your pack begins to grow brighter and brighter until it fills the room with a pale but brilliant light that reveals the mausoleum for what it is: old stone and dust, and nothing worse than that. Your spirits soar. Select Make a Move, continue, and go to the flag, go down the stairs. Unafraid of what might you find below, you make your way towards the stairs, but you must have stepped on some kind of switch, as behind you hear a noise, and you turn to see the door is swinging shut. Select Let it close. You stay back, not wanting to be crushed by the heavy stone door. It seals with a bang. Select Continue, and go to the flag in the dark. The echo of the slamming door circles the room. Your light forms a pool around your feet. Select Make a Move, continue, and go to the flag, go down the stairs. Continue again, and go to the flag downwards. You make your way cautiously down the ancient stairs into the dead earth. The walls are damp, and there is a foul smell of decay. The only sound is a dripping coming from somewhere in the depths. Select Continue, and go to the flag, the crypt. You emerge into a large, dark chamber, lit only by the light of your sun jewel. A coffin occupies the center of the room, covered by dust and spider webs. Select Continue, and set the flag Wait and Watch. You hang back, taking a few breaths to ensure the room is silent. That's when you hear the sound, a moan and a rattle of chains. Coming from inside the coffin itself, the lid is moving back. Select Stay Back. You hang back, watching, and that's when you see the ghostly figure emerging from one of the alcoves of the room. It is a Deathwraith, wielding a cruel hooked dagger and sliding mercilessly towards you. Deathwraiths, like all ghosts, can only be harmed by weapons of silver, but it is quite capable of causing you harm. You have a choice here. If you don't want to fight the Deathwraith, select Cast a Spell and select the Kin spell, as in K-I-N. Your mirror will create a duplicate of the Deathwraith, and it will destroy itself trying to kill it. Just select the options to Wait and Watch. What I recommend you do instead is select Attack and do a fight scene with the Deathwraith. I know that there's a chance for it to harm you, but I think it's more thematic to the story. Whatever you choose to do, pause the video here and continue once the Deathwraith has been defeated. The crypt becomes peaceful as the battle ends, but then there is a creaking sound that makes you look back at the coffin. It is opened, and a figure is rising up. Select Wait. You watch as the figure takes shape, a very old man and no monster. Stranger, he declares in a quivering voice, his throat thick with dust and cobwebs, I am in great debt to you. Now at last can my soul die in peace. Tell me quickly, before I am lost, how may I repay you? Despite his advanced age and decay, you recognize his face from the sketch you carry of the fifth noble of Khare. This is Shivna himself. So let's continue. And go to the flag, Lord Shivna. Select the option, you are Lord Shinva. The old man nods. I am, or I was. He smiles without humour, only the ghost of a smile. And you? Who are you? Select I am from Analand. The ghost raises a dusty eyebrow. Analand? What interest does Analand have in the ways of Khare? His eyes are piercing and shrewd, despite there being no light or soul behind them. Select I travel to the Balkans. Then you will need to pass through the North Gate, and for that you must know the spell. Perhaps you know it already? Select do you know it? I know one line, one log made of golem's hide. I wish you luck finding the others, but tell me, what lies in the Balkans that Analand could want? Select Mampang and the Crown of Kings. Shinva looks startled. The crown? What of the crown? Select it has been stolen. He looks deeply troubled. Then today is a good day to die. The Crown of Kings is an ancient object, you understand, from a time when the world was young and great forces stalked the land, forces too great for such as we today, powers that could shape beings and minds with the slightest whim and mould the land and sea to their will. Do you understand what the Crown does? Select, it allows control. That is the simplest way to say it, I suppose. There is much more than that. Only once was I in the power of the Crown. He shudders. As it passed from Lendelland to Bryce, I was the envoy at that court when it arrived. It has the power to turn your will to another's without you knowing that it's happened. You see, the power of that no one under the influence of the Crown can ever revolt, as they do not understand that they are in servitude. The old man is visibly crumbling in front of you. You have little time left. Select, what can you tell me of the Balkans? Very little. Oh, but I remember one couplet, told to me in my crib. Will you hear it? Select, please. For sleeping of the sleepless ram, seek out the one they call the sham. Shinva shakes his ancient head. I cannot tell you what that sleepless ram is, but perhaps it is advice, and not mere nonsense. Trickles of dust rain down from the roof of the crypt. Select, farewell, old man. Farewell, stranger. May your life and fate be better than mine. Finally, with a withered finger, he directs your attention to a gnarled rope that hangs down in one corner of the room. That controls the trap on the door, he declares with a groan. So let's continue. And go to the flag, cut the rope. You slash the rope with your sword. A heavy counterweight falls and shatters on the floor. Lord Shinva nods and drifts towards his coffin. I give the last of my life to you, he whispers, as he lies back into his grave. You feel the cold strength flood your veins, then turn quickly and make your way up the stairs. So let's continue and go to the flag above ground. Continue again and select the flag, step outside. Continue and go to the flag, the path. You avoid the ring of mushrooms as you leave, and outside, night is falling, and things are stirring between the moaning trees. You would do well not to linger here. Something scurries across your foot and is gone. So let's continue. And go to the flag, leave the graveyard. You return to the path gratefully, and make your way to the far side of the graveyard. Besides the gate is a disused well. Select Pull up the bucket. You turn the wince on the side of the well, drawing up a bucket from beneath. It comes to the top, filled with clear water. Is this fresh as the water from the other fountain you tried? Select Drink from the bucket. You scoop a handful of water and taste it. Despite your surroundings, it is fresh and quite clear, and you feel much better for it. Select Move on. The rear gate of the graveyard hangs from its hinges, but not from age. It seems it has been taken apart, maybe widened even to let something through. Beyond is deep forest. So let's continue. And go to the flag, follow the road. You walk for half an hour through the thick trees along a narrowing track until you reach a fork in the road. To the left, the track gets narrower still, and to the right, a massive shadow looms, so large it seems as though a colossus has seated itself on the wall in thought. A chill wind blows through you, as though ghosts walked back and forth this way. Select Look at the shadowy shape. The shadow to the right is a jagged silhouette. It is a ziggurat, with perhaps 100 steps leading to its apex. The trees whisper and move. Select Make a move. Night is drawing in, and you should get moving. Things whisper between the trees. So let's continue. And go to the flag, the ziggurat. And that concludes part 13. What happens next is a story for next time. See you in the next video.